Okay, thank you for joining us again to this week's Freeworld Trading News Roundup. Sorry we didn't have an episode last week. The website was looking pretty dry last week, but we're hoping to get some more information next few weeks, and so exciting time to lay ahead. So it's good to speak to you again. Right, so the first question I have for you today is what the latest in the euro is.
Well, the euro is still effectively sinking. It's bobbing around quite a bit, and the main thing has been the possible Greek exit from the EC, which still hangs in the balance. If Greece were to exit, it would be huge uncertainty because this has never happened before. On the other hand, what's never happened before is that a country hasn't left the EC. So the mechanism of leaving would be difficult. There would also be a huge flight of capital from Greece. Though since January, I've noticed nearly half the capital has gone. I was looking at these papers. So there already has been a flight of capital from Greece. Right now, there's another meeting started between the finance ministers of various EC countries and that of Greece. That started this afternoon about 2 o'clock, and people are expecting, though there's no such deadline, that it should be solved by Sunday lunchtime. So, but underneath this, the problem is that Greece has put forward a very aggressive position initially, and that seems to have triggered off an equally firm rebuttal from the Germans. They are not going to renegotiate existing agreements. What's up on the table now is some sort of bridging loan for 6 months to basically buy a bit of time. That's what the Americans call kicking the can further down the road.
Yeah.
And it's possible that in the long run this won't contribute to any uncertainty at all. Where 2 months ago Barclays FX were in their predictions were saying 107 for the euro against the dollar by the end of the year, and they were extremely they were the most bearish of the lot. Now, out of 30 forecasts, we have some which are sub-parity. In other words, they are saying, say, 95 American cents for a euro, which would be another further devaluation of about 12-13%, more 14%. That's a very different outlook from where we've had. The last time we had a crisis like this, we touched parity, I think. So the whole background, the whole series of expectations is shifting. As a result of this, people are starting to imagine what life would be like with a really weak euro, and the answer is pretty good for some. Germany, till 2 or 3 years ago, I'm not quite sure, was the world's largest exporter. That means its costs are in euros, and that if the euro is weak, its products become very much more competitive in the world marketplace. And we could bizarrely enough be looking at a situation where, you know, Germany becomes the new China.
Right. Okay. So who are the clear winners and losers out of this?
Well, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have this volatility because the level of the volatility is so high that certain foreign exchange contracts, companies are going down. Everybody just wants a bit of stability. If the weak scenario, a weak euro scenario, goes on, then ultimately, I think the winners will probably be Europe.
So for the new people on our website right now, what's the main way this volatility can affect Freeworld trading?
Well, the fact is that NUCs are traded in dollars.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that means that virtually all the product that we trade is traded in dollars. That means in the European zone, if we went to parity, for instance, all our product would be 13% more expensive, and that means sales would slow down, and that means some demand would be perhaps permanently affected. People would switch to other snack products like pretzels, etc. These are very, very high prices, and increasingly I suspect people will not be paying them. And that starts with the supermarkets, because the supermarkets don't think that a product is going to return them enough sales to justify its space on the shelf. It'll leave the shelf. Mm-hmm. And since 90% of the food that we buy is sold from a supermarket, that is instant destruction. So let's see. We've already seen some products go like that. It's walnuts are just too expensive, and there's not enough demand for them as a snack. So off they go.
Mm-hmm. So this leads kind of swiftly on to my next question, which is about the markets. Mm-hmm. What is the latest in the markets? We deal with so many different products out there. Mm-hmm. Last week or a couple of weeks ago, we were speaking to Alex about sesame seed and pumpkin seed, and the clear message out of that market report was that it's a good time to buy. And it's now Chinese New Year, so they do a lot of business with China. What is the latest in the markets? What's looking good? What's the good, bad, and the ugly?
What's very clear from China, or from all the normal sorts of demand, is that people are going hand to mouth in the face of, generally speaking, high prices. In fact, sesame seed is just about the only thing that has come down.
Okay, why is that?
Why is it the only thing that's come down? Because everything else keeps going up.
Right. Okay.
Right. The people, when prices are high, people buy just enough to keep in stock, and so there's always a little bit of demand in the market to keep the sellers happy. At the same time, there is demand destruction as things become out of stock. There's a greater risk. So I think we're treading along a very fine line here, where some of the products we're selling really could suffer at retail. Mm. Meanwhile, the supermarkets, who normally would be covering their entire tranche of January to December, in the UK anyway, are not doing that. They've gone to the same mode, so they're just buying enough. If their prices are too high, the knee-jerk response is to say, delist. So, whilst there's not much to say anything about the products that we've been talking about, the dock strike in America, for instance, well, it's got worse. Product is the port's bunged up to the point where apparently Honda might need to start flying some of its air parts in from Japan. Otherwise they won't be able to make cars. Apparently there's a shortage of Levi's in the West Coast, because then stuff isn't coming in from China. Yeah. It's very major and perhaps permanent damage.
So everything's interconnected.
Everything is interconnected, and I think there's a lot of volatility. Look at Russia. We had at the start of the week we had a ceasefire, and then towards the end of the week we hear that there's been the biggest bombings ever so far. So Russia's is not helping. There's a lot of uncertainty, and the uncertainty keeps growing. So things will start to slow down.
It looks like Greece and Russia, their trade relations will get stronger now as a response.
Well, I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen.
No, okay.
But
the Syriza party, the leader, the anti-austerity party leader, he's been going around with the new finance minister, who seems to be this kind of cool guy in a leather jacket, and the first people they talk to are Russia.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
He looks a bit like George Clooney, doesn't he?
I wouldn't comment on that.
Okay, so that's fine. So very little in the change in direction of the markets, but just getting more intractable. So we don't really have any new market information to give people.
Yeah, but we do have a lot of website related information.
Yeah, that's
so a little change in the markets, but a lot of change happening
tell
in
us
the
how
website.
the new product pages are coming along.
So what's basically happening at the moment is we're using me and our quality control director Marcella are using the Brazil nut page. So we have a product section, we have all our different products lined up, and our content management system is WordPress, which is quite an amateur way of things. We're looking at ways to experiment that. And we're designing the Brazil nut page as a kind of template page for other products.
Hopefully next week then we'll be able to show you around the website.
So we'll create an EZ video.
And you perhaps get a better understanding of what we're trying to do with it.
So we'll create I'm in the process of creating over this weekend, I'll create an EZ video, an EZ video, I'm not sure how I pronounce it, basically showing exactly what I'm trying to do with this, with the pages, with the template. Trying to make it as user-friendly, concise and clear as possible, so all the information is laid out and people don't have to scroll. You know, users who go on the website, whether it's people who are totally new to the website or people who are going to the website all the time, you know, and they don't have to scroll, they can just click on the bit of information they want to go, click of a button, you know.
The kind of information that we're putting on is basically how the products are processed, where they come from, what the specifications are, how to test the product against the specification. What is a defect? What is a chip nut? What is a scrape nut? What is an insect nut? A nut which has been attacked by an insect.
Right. So
so there'll be pictures on there.
So the 6 main schools, brands, groups of information on each page will be where the product's from, which will include a bit about the product, the defects, the specification, which is all the sort of rigid quality control related information, the processing, so what the different factions are in the processing part, and the risks. The
risks, for instance, what could happen in Brazil nuts? Well, it could be overcooked, it could be shattered. We'll look at how those risks arise.
And the 6th part, obviously, the trader.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so that's it. Hopefully
so that's in the process of being done. Yeah, that should be done fairly soon, and we'll of course show you that video and as to showing you how what we're planning on doing with it. So anything else to say?
No, that's it. That's it for this.
All right,
week.
okay. And to all our Chinese customers out there, Happy New Year, Year of the Goat.
Okay.
All right, thank you.